the travel piece is really personal for me. I love to travel, and I grew up traveling, and I love to explore areas centered around food and what people are eating and what they grow there and, local products. And I felt like in 2022, it was missing because we hadn't really gotten back to travel the way it was pre-pandemic. So I decided to start a group trip where we would travel. I really love Italy. I can travel there nonstop. And so I said, let's go to Italy and see how it goes. And like I said before, let's see what happens. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but at least we tried. So it took off. People love it.
Hi there, I'm Wendy Rimmelsbacher, and welcome to the podcast show, Dim to Daring. Do you feel like there's something bigger waiting for you, but you're not sure how to make it happen? You're in the right place. I'm here to bring you inspiring stories, powerful insights, and practical strategies to help you reignite your spark, realign with your purpose, and take those bold steps towards the life you were meant to live. Let's dive in, because you're not finished yet. You're just getting started. Welcome. Today I've got something special for you. We're jumping into the world of transformation and passion with a conversation that's going to inspire you if you've been feeling stuck, or if you've been wondering how to take that leap into a life that truly lights you up. If you've been sitting in the status quo and you know there's more for you, today's guest is going to show you exactly what's possible when you lean into what you love. I'm beyond excited to introduce Debbie Brosnan, the incredible woman behind the Effortless Kitchen. Debbie didn't settle for the first version of the adult life she created. She took her lifelong love for food and cooking, combined it with her deep-rooted passion for travel, and created a business that's not only aligned with her heart, but is helping others embrace a more effortless, joyful way of cooking. Debbie is also the author of Amazon's best-selling cookbooks that focus on creating healthy, delicious meals with simple ingredients. And hear this, twice a year, she leads exclusive culinary retreats in Europe, giving food lovers the chance to dive into local cuisine, culture, and once-in-a-lifetime travel experiences. If you've ever dreamed of combining food, travel, and adventure, Debbie's about to show you how it's done and how she built this dream business from the ground up. From cooking alongside her mother and grandmother to becoming a self-taught culinary pro, Debbie's journey is truly inspiring. What started as a passion has evolved into a thriving business, from private chef services and corporate events to those incredible international culinary retreats, which I can't wait to hear more about. Debbie, your journey is so unique. You took the extraordinary experience of learning to cook with your mother and grandmother and took it to a dream-level life version. And I can't wait to hear more about your transformational journey, your retreats, and your passion for helping others find ease and joy in the kitchen. Thank you so much for joining me today, and welcome to Dim to Daring.
Thank you, Wendy. That was great. I feel like mic drop. I don't have to say much else.
Oh, but you do have so much to add to this conversation.
I do. Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning. Can you tell us a little bit about your early career and where you started as an adult and eventually what led you to this delicious new path?
Yeah, sure. So I started out of college as a CPA with KPMG, and it was not a passion of mine. It was a way to get a job out of college, and I put aside my desire to work in food somehow, and I did that for close to 10 years, and then started a family and was a stay-at-home mom full-time. And the food thing kept popping up here and there, and I kept pushing it away because it felt scary, and it felt like I didn't have the experience and the training that I thought I needed. So it wasn't until 2019 when I decided to be brave and just go for it and start this food-based business. And I started it as a personal chef.
Well, I love that you finally listened to your intuition. And I think so many women have that happen to them where they set it aside and think, no, this is just something fun I feel like doing, but I couldn't possibly make a business out of it. But look what you did.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure out how to do it, to make it work for me.
I bet. And then it had to be the magic year of 2019 when right around the corner, the pandemic hit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What did you think about that? Like just starting out and then having that happen?
Well, we thought it was a blip, right? We thought it was going to be a pause and then we would go right back to life as we knew it. And we know what happened. It didn't happen. And so I didn't really think much about it. I just thought it was a pause. And what happened was during the height of the pandemic, when we were kind of in lockdown mode, people were bored and cooking every meal for their family and started asking questions on Facebook. What are you making tonight for dinner? What do you have any recipe ideas? And I just was looking at those going, well, I'm making dinner. I may as well share a video of what I'm cooking for my family. And people loved it. And it just kind of got more traction. And that is exactly how my business transformed to a personal chef, from a personal chef business into a virtual cooking class business.
That's amazing. Really, you were prompted to do the very thing you love. You just got a little push from others that needed, well,
Exactly.
They needed interaction for one thing, like just to know there's somebody else out there at that time. And then to have you entertain them and make it look so easy. It was like a beautiful new beginning of the business you always envisioned.
Right. And it was a way of creating community and connection with people when we really needed it. And I thought it was just going to be sharing recipes and new cooking techniques for people, but it really turned into something more.
Wow. Were the questions they had for you exactly what you would expect?
No.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more about that.
It was actually, I think that I took for granted that cooking is kind of natural, comes natural to me. And I didn't realize how many people were struggling with how to actually cook. So what I found was there were more beginners out there than I had envisioned. And I teach to all levels. I taught to all levels, and I still teach to all levels. But it made me realize that there's a large community of people who really need my help.
Wow, that is just fascinating. Was it was just the basics of cooking, or was it also that you had types of foods that people weren't familiar with, and were they introduced to all of those things too? All those complicating, like, what is a rutabaga?
Yeah, and we didn't even get that complex. But yes, there were things that people had never heard of, dishes that they had never heard of. So it was kind of opening people's eyes and minds to trying different foods in an approachable way, because my dishes are inspired by, they're not the authentic version. And it's my recipes are designed to be easy and simple to follow. So it's easy for a home cook to make and replicate in their kitchen. So nothing's complicated. And there's also a healthy spin to it. So I think everything about that is appealing. And we span different genres of food. And I also cater to people with dietary restrictions so that they can substitute and know that they can make a meal that's as delicious as what somebody else is making who doesn't have those restrictions.
Oh my gosh, I applaud you on such a big level. You just kind of hit so many pieces of interest for me. The healthy part, the entertainment piece, and then making it look simple and giving people fresh ideas of what to do in a time that they needed a distraction, especially. That's so amazing that you finally stepped into your purpose at that time in that phase when people needed you the most.
Thank you. Yeah, it was not a plan, as we said, not a plan, but it was where I needed to be, and I didn't know it.
Yeah. I know a lot of women feel stuck in their careers and that no longer light them up. And then they worry that it's too late. Like, I should have started this a long time ago, or I'm in a career where I have 3 weeks of vacation. And so I don't dare quit because I'd have to start over. You know, all those barriers that hold us back and sometimes falsely hold us back because we're scared to take that step. From your experience, what would you say to someone who's standing on the edge of a big leap, but they're still holding themselves back?
I mean, that's my story, and I was there, and I get that. But if you don't try, you'll never know. So the fear of failure, I think, is the biggest obstacle. And I think that, I think Nike coined it, just do it. I say, go for it. Just go for it.
I love it.
What's the worst that can happen is you learn and maybe you fail and you tweak. Maybe what your original path wasn't exactly right for you, but you find something else that is. So failure doesn't mean that you failed. It's a lesson for learning.
Well done. You are the example of just how to do it. And I do think of that often too, that Nike saying, it is perfect. Just do it. You've just got to take a step and start doing something towards that which you envision for yourself in the future. There's no other way to evolve and to figure out who it is you're going to be next, except for taking that next step.
Right. I agree.
Well, the Effortless Kitchen has grown, seems so beautifully, because you started out with the virtual, right? And you're not doing those classes as much anymore. Tell us about how that evolved into the next chapter.
Okay, so the virtual classes started in May of 2020, and I continued those into March of 2025 and decided to stop my virtual classes as a group in just this past March because I wanted to be more flexible and I wanted to do more travel and I wanted to do more personal travel in addition to business travel. So what I decided to do instead of the virtual classes as a group is do independent one-to-one cooking coaching in a series of 5 classes. And it's nice because it's custom to what my client wants and what they need for skill set and for dietary restrictions and menu and all of those things, plus also timing and dates that we can work together. And I can do that virtually or in person, depending upon where my clients are or what their needs are. So that is how I kind of transitioned my virtual cooking classes. And in addition to the virtual, I also do virtual group classes. I was doing a lot of corporate events and virtual corporate classes and also groups of individuals who wanted birthday parties and other types of gatherings where they couldn't do it in person. And I still do those because there are organizations and there are groups of people who are still looking for virtual because their network is spread out, whether it be a group of employees or a family or a group of friends. So I still offer the private group events.
That makes so much sense, Debbie. Even with the return of in-person events after the pandemic, there's still a real need for virtual options, especially when people's networks are spread out across different states or even countries. It's so common now for families, friends, and even teams within organizations to be scattered and want to continue to connect virtually. I can see how your virtual cooking classes continue to fill such a meaningful gap, bringing people together in a fun and delicious way. And speaking of meaningful, I want to shift gears for a moment because I know there's something else you've created that's been such a hit with your community, and that's your cookbook. I was reading through some of the reviews, and people had so many positive comments to share. They talked about the beautiful pictures to the ease of written instructions. Honestly, it looks and sounds like a book you'd want to set out on the coffee table, as well as keep close by in the kitchen. You can tell it's more than just a collection of recipes. It really feels like a piece of your journey and a reflection of all the heart you've put into teaching. So I'd love to hear, how did the idea for your cookbook come about?
So the cookbook was also not a plan, but it became clear that after a while I had taught so many classes and I had so many recipes, and I had one client in particular, who kept telling me he had my cookbook every time he came to class. And I saw a binder full of my recipes and I'm like, wow, that's great. And then after about the third time, I was like, oh, I could write a cookbook. I actually have a cookbook. So I wrote a cookbook. It took me about 8 months, from the time of like conception to actually getting all the recipes together. And then I had to edit all of them, even though I had written them all, because they were all written for group virtual instruction. And it was live. And so I would talk through the recipe and not really pay attention to the details, and especially the instructions in the directions. So I had to rewrite everything so that someone in their home can actually open the book and cook the recipe from start to finish. And I took all of the photos myself that are inside the book of the food, because it was important to me to have a photo for each recipe, because I want people to know what it's supposed to look like. Now, on the flip side of that, I've heard that people are intimidated to make the dish because they can't make it as beautiful as the photo. The photo's a guide. I made it beautiful for presentation purposes. It never looks that way when I actually make it for my family.
Well, I am one who loves to see the picture of what it should look like, and if it's something I've never cooked with before, I can see the picture of it and what it looks like. So I love a good picture.
Yeah. So the pictures I felt like they were important, and that's going to happen. I'm actually writing cookbook number 2 now, and that will come out in the fall of 2025.
Oh, we'll have to look for that. They look like they'd be a perfect gift too, a Christmas gift or a birthday gift. Just a beautiful book.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, now for the big juicy part of the interview. Would you please tell us more about your international group travel trips where you go and explore different cultures, different cuisines? We'd love to hear it all.
Okay. Well, this is I've loved everything that I've done and I'm doing in my business, but the travel piece is really personal for me. I love to travel, and I grew up traveling, and I love to explore areas centered around food and what people are eating and what they grow there, and, local products. And I felt like in 2022, it was missing because we hadn't really gotten back to travel the way it was pre-pandemic. So I decided to start a group trip where we would travel. I really love Italy. I can travel there nonstop. And so I said, let's go to Italy and see how it goes. And like I said before, let's see what happens. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but at least we tried. So it took off. People love it. And we go for a week and we explore the area based on their food. So we do food excursions where we do walking food tours. We do street food tours. We'll do like local food products like olive oil factory, cheese making, prosciutto. When we were up in the Bologna area, the Parma area, that's what we did up there. We'll eat at agriturismos where it's really farm to table dining. We do 2 cooking classes when we're on these trips where we learn to make the local specialties from a local expert. And the classes that we take are not really about technique. It's more learning about the food through the hands-on cooking class. And we do some really amazing dining together as well. And the other piece that I find really important in the group trip is to have some downtime. So we have downtime where people can explore on their own or rest and relax or shop or whatever.
Oh my gosh, it just sounds amazing. I mean, everything about it. I can almost smell the food as you're talking. Are some of the experts, do they speak English, or are you the interpreter, or how does that work?
Yeah. I don't speak Italian. We've gone to Spain. I don't speak Spanish. We're going to Croatia this year. Also don't speak the language. We rely on local experts who are also English speaking. So we get English speaking guides and English speaking chefs. And if not everybody in the kitchen speaks English, there's enough people who do to translate for us. So we have had experiences where we're with like the nonas and they're teaching us to make pasta and not all of them speak English, but that's okay.
Yeah.
There is something about when you like cook together that you don't really have to speak the language. You just kind of follow along and get the feel for it from watching someone.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. How big are the groups that you take typically?
We do like 12 to 16. So small groups. It is open to everybody, so it's not just a women's trip. We've got couples, we've got solo female travelers. That's a big group that I serve because it's a safe space for them. Sisters traveling, friends. So my husband comes along on the trips, which is great. My parents often join us. They are very active, 80 and 81, and so it's a really nice mix of people. We come for a common goal, a common reason of love of food and exploration and curiosity, and we all have that common connection, and it's really a great way to have conversations around the table, and that kind of sparks other things, and people come as strangers and leave as friends. So it's been amazing.
It sounds amazing. Do you have a best memory from all of your trips? Is there something that stands out?
Oh my gosh, that's a really hard question. We did a food experience at like a hilltop in Sicily where we had a table outdoors, and they just kept, it was a small place. The chef owner was cooking for us, and they kept bringing food out, and it was very, very, it was kind of like your what your grandma would make. So nothing was fancy about it, but everything was incredible. And there's like a donkey that's braying off like right next to us and making all his noises, and people were going over to feed him grass in between courses, and they kept bringing out course after course of food, and then homemade grappa and limoncello at the end. Like, it was just such a, like, the setting was beautiful, the hospitality was great, the food was incredible. So I feel like all of it combined was just such a nice memory.
Yeah, it sounds like something you couldn't plan any more perfect. Almost like it was a setting for a movie.
Yes, I would say.
Yeah. Well, I bet you have many happy customers. And what about return customers? Do people sign up again?
I do have a lot of repeat travelers who come with me. I have one person in particular who comes on every single trip of mine. Other people come back once a year. Some people do every other year, depending upon, their budgetary restrictions. But
Sure.
I try to keep it affordable so that people can enjoy it and not feel like it's going to break the bank.
Yeah. What's the furthest that somebody has come to join you?
So I've had a few people from California come. Got somebody coming on this next trip. I'm actually leaving next week to go to Tuscany. So we have somebody coming from Seattle, someone else coming from Texas. I do attract a lot of East Coasters, just based on where my personal network is and, their friends and family. Because my trips are really sold word of mouth. Maybe somebody will hear it on your podcast and be interested, but for the most part, it's going to be word of mouth, people I know and people, friends and friends of friends, that kind of thing.
Sure. It always seems more reasonable to do when you know somebody who knows you and can confirm that it's going to be as fabulous as it sounds. So that's always a good trust piece through a friend to know that they went before and it is everything that you said it is. It just sounds like the most amazing business you created, to get to do what you love and to travel like you love to do. and to meet new
Yes.
friends every time you go on a trip.
Yes. Yes, I agree. It's my most favorite part of my business, and I get to travel twice a year or 3 times a year, depending on what we're doing each year. But I try to do a spring and a fall trip.
Yeah. Well, I want to say bravo, friend. That's just amazing. You went
Thank
from
you.
that. It's probably hard for you to really envision what held you back when it did for so many years.
Yeah, I know. It's like although maybe if I did it earlier, it wouldn't have been what it is now. Like I wouldn't have built the virtual cooking classes, and then maybe I would have stuck with the personal chef work, which was great, but I was cooking for my clients. And then I started empowering people to cook for themselves, which was a very different feeling. It was much more rewarding. So who knows? Maybe I wouldn't have been where I am now if I had started it 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, I believe things happen when they're supposed to happen, and it evolved
Yep.
just like it was supposed to. So,
Mm-hmm.
well, my next question is, what's the most recent daring step you took, big or small, and what did it open up for you? And it could be something really recent or something you're looking forward to coming up.
Okay. So what I didn't mention as part of the whole virtual cooking class shift in my business was the reason why I never would have planned that for myself is because I'm somewhat introverted, or let's call myself an ambivert. I'm really kind of crossover, but I feel more introverted, and speaking terrifies me. And I've made a commitment to speak more this year. So podcast guesting, looking for groups to speak to about experiential travel or cooking made easy, or all sorts of educational topics around food and cooking and travel that I can speak on. Panels, anything that I can find. So that's my next goal, is to conquer that fear and just get myself out there more. I feel like I have so much to share, and the more people I could reach, the better.
Oh, I love it. That's so true. You have so much to give and so much knowledge to share with the world. So I'm excited for you and your future of speaking out more. And I hope that you find some wonderful avenues to step on stage or grab the microphone. You do a wonderful job speaking and sharing your experiences. That just leads me into asking you, what's the best way people can connect with you?
So first spot would be my website, which is theeffortlesskitchen.com. And I'm also on social media, which I think you'll share the links for that. But I'm on Instagram as The Effortless Kitchen by Debbie. That's probably where I share the most travel photos and the most food photos is on Instagram. My website has some, but most current things are going to be on social media. So Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook.
Yeah, I'll be sure to post all that in the show notes. And also, what's the best way for people to buy your cookbook?
So they can find it on Amazon. There's also a link to it on my website. It is just called The Effortless Kitchen Cookbook. So didn't put anything fancy in there for the title, so you can find it easily. And then also, I don't know if you were getting to it, but I want to offer your listeners a free offer for a recorded class of mine. I think you'll include the link for that, but it's the potato leek soup with grilled cheese crouton recipe. It is a fan favorite, and it comes with the recipe and the recorded class. You can watch at your leisure, cook along with me, and enjoy.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That's such a wonderful gift. I will be sure to add that into the show notes so that the community can click on that, get to know you, and cook along with you. I wish you all the best on your upcoming trip. I'll be sure to follow you on social media and to take in your trip posts. Thanks for being here, friend.
Thanks, Wendy.
Thank you so much for joining me today on Dim to Daring. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love it if you subscribed, shared it with a friend, or left a review. It helps more women just like you discover the show. Remember, you're not finished yet, you're just getting started. Until next time, keep daring to grow and shine.